Borodar Bahub, thank you for inviting me to speak at today's inaugural Mastering Diversity Conference. And can I congratulate you, Bernie, on organising this inspiring and vitally important event. I welcome the opportunity to update you on our continuing commitment to an anti-racist nation by 2030, delivered through our ambitious Anti-Racist Wales Action Plan. Eradicating racism and promoting race equality have always been priorities for the Welsh Government. Our Anti-Racist Wales Action Plan is therefore built on the values of anti-racism and calls for zero tolerance of all racial inequality. We know that everyone's experience of our public sector services is different, and the pandemic has put a spotlight on the unacceptable discrimination and barriers that many of our racially diverse people of Wales face when accessing these services. Through Professor Emmanuel Bonner's COVID-19 advisory socio-economic subgroups, sobering and powerful report, we're acutely aware of entrenched inequalities experienced by Black, Asian and minority ethnic people in Wales. It was clear that major changes were needed to recognise and tackle both institutionalised and systemic racism in our society in a more radical and ambitious way to what we've ever done before. Our cross-government plan clearly shows Welsh Government's commitment to tackling this long-term systemic and structural racism, and exactly how we will deliver this, developed through extensive engagement and co-construction with our racially diverse communities and recognising the value of lived experience. The plan is a practical document, and we're working towards a Wales where the voices and lived experience and leadership of our Black, Asian, minority ethnic communities is seen, heard, experienced and acted upon. Welsh Government is determined to move from the rhetoric on racial equality to meaningful action to eliminate these inequalities and make change in ways that are tangible to our ethnic minority communities. And of course, this is what people expect of us, quite rightly. So we have identified across government, as I said, a number of areas, a vision for an anti-racist nation where everyone is valued for who they are and the contribution that they make. Now, you will all be aware that the plan was published on June the 7th of 2022, and it's been shaped by the voices and lived experience of Black, Asian and minority ethnic people across Wales. And we're absolutely committed to celebrating diversity and eliminating inequality in all its forms. The vision at the heart of the plan is to deliver an anti-racist Wales, sending out an important signal across government, across the public sector, across society in Wales that we will no longer tolerate structural and institutionalised racism. Being anti-racist means actively identifying and eradicating systems, structures and processes that produce radically different outcomes for ethnic minority people and groups. Even when we do not regard ourselves as racist, if we do nothing, then we are complicit in allowing racism to continue. The Anti-Racist Wales Action Plan identifies a vision and values for an anti-racist Wales with goals, actions, timelines, and tangible outcomes to move on from that rhetoric and to meaningful action. These goals and actions are spread across the whole government, as I've said, and designed to have real positive changes for the lives and experiences of Black, Asian and minority citizens of Wales. For example, we have goals and actions on leadership and representation, because we know we're a long way off being representative. During the last 12 months, action has been taken across Welsh Government to deliver key goals within the plan. In September 2022, Wales became the first part of the UK to make it mandatory to teach Black, Asian and minority ethnic histories and experiences through a new curriculum for Wales. Our schools are also focusing on recruiting teachers from ethnic minority communities and incorporating anti-racist practices. We've established an initial teacher education recruitment plan and provided incentives for ethnic minority teaching. And this, of course, is crucial in terms of the impact on education in our children's lives. In higher education, the Anti-Racist Wales Action Plan is being implemented by the Higher Education Funding Council for Wales. This includes the formation of an anti-racism network, publishing race equality reports, and addressing pay disparities. Efforts to present a balanced, decolonised historical narrative and celebrate the contributions of Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities have been successful. Notable achievements include the community-led Reframing Picton exhibition, which addressed historical injustices, and the funding of 22 culture, heritage and sport organisations for co-production projects. In sport, Goal Football received funding to set up a Black, Asian minority ethnic Sunday league to encourage participation in grassroots football. And people from different faiths and communities came together to create the league, with 15 nationalities represented. In the health sector, we're introducing workforce race equality standard to measure and also to report. That's crucial to account for progress in workforce race equality, including improving data collection related to health inequalities, especially through the implementation of the maternity and neonatal safety support programme. Efforts continue to encourage diversity in leadership positions, particularly among housing association chairs. The Get Into Housing project in Cardiff offers work placements for long-term unemployed people from minority ethnic communities. The Ending Homelessness National Advisory Board has recruited diverse members and established connections with various groups to enhance the recruitment pathway. Voter information engagement initiatives, including enfranchising younger and foreign citizens, have led to increased democratic participation. Funding has supported outreach work and awareness campaigns, promoting inclusivity and engagement. Our plan's impact within the employment world, the employability, fair work and entrepreneurship sectors is evident in various achievements. These include family learning initiatives, fostering an anti-racist workplace culture, promoting fair pay, and embedding anti-racist practices by the Workforce Partnership Council. Friends, the nation of sanctuary objectives within the plan have achieved commendable progress, despite challenges posed by the UK government policy shifts. The commitment is to fostering a welcoming and inclusive environment for forced migrants, and it's evident through various initiatives, including mental health support, access to healthcare, education and housing. And the Welsh Government's unwavering efforts reflect a dedication to creating a sanctuary for all, even in the face of external challenges. We've also provided support for the Young Wales programme, enabling children and young people to influence government and ensuring representation through diversity and inclusion data. So Welsh Government continue to collaborate closely as well with our criminal justice partners to take a challenging and radical approach to improve outcomes and tackle systemic racism. For example, the creation of an independent panel to oversee crime and justice anti-racist action plan implementation includes the focus on improving diversity within the police force and monitoring policy ethnicities amongst our police community support officers. But we must not be complacent. We must ensure that future generations do not experience the racism and discrimination that is a pernicious feature of the lived experience of Black, Asian and minority ethnic people across Wales today. Welsh Government continues to work closely across government and the wider public sector to deliver our anti-racist Wales action plan. We are committed to building a nation in which we can all be proud to belong and in which each of us can thrive. When that happens, we will all win. Diolch yn fawr.